know everybody is my
Just
left,
left.
other left. I went to
Oh,
Eisenhower
that's
High
you.
School now.
Oh, that's my right. That's my right. That's my
I
right.
know it. And guess what? You was probably right. You was probably right. You was probably right. But yo, man, what's up with you guys? It's your boy West Coast. We back, man. 3-Show Joe. That's what they call me in the streets, man. 3-Show Joe. And I'm gonna tell you this right here for this last one tonight, man. Oh yeah, I got a special one, man. I got a special one, man. I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. I told y'all I consider myself a very smart person. And you know what smart people do? They hang around with other smarty smarts. You know what I'm saying? They say smarty things, they watch smarty videos. We eat Smarties as candies. That's just what we do. And I'm gonna tell you another thing smart people do. When they have something and it's like, I just might not know a lot about that. You know what they do? They call up one of their smart buddies and they say, hey, smart guy, you want to come on my show and be the regularly smart guy on Brian Schottenheimer since you just dropped a video that just went viral? I mean, it only makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I did, man. You already know what I had to do, man. I had to go get in my cowboy decks, hit up my boy AKOYE from AKOYE Media, man. What's up with you, man?
What's good, man? What's good? West Coast, man. You originator of this joint, man. One of the
Uh,
first to put me on. You and Law put me on, man. So what? Thank you for having me back.
yes,
Appreciate it.
sir. Yes, sir. Hey, shout out to Law. I literally just got, let me tell you, it's well, I not even inside joke, but God is so good. I literally just got off a show with Law.
Oh, damn.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So it's just
You
crazy
mean
how
Law? You mean one of Law clones? Law was like the first civilian to figure out cloning because I don't know how he keep making shows. Law be on 24/7. I'm like, how you everywhere, man?
bruh, for real. Hey, I'm 3-Show Joe. That's about as deep as you're
Yeah.
gonna get from your boy West Coast, unless we in the
Right.
playoffs. And then I'm glad I'm living on the live. You know what I'm saying? But yo,
Facts.
man, and then hey, man, you guys already know I got you, man. I got HTM from HTM Sports in the building. What's up with you, man?
Ah man, God is good, man. Just here breathing air, talking cowboy football, man. So all is good in the world.
Yes,
See, you
sir.
I can tell, man. That's how you know you got a good gal in his life, man. Oh, God is good. You know what I mean?
Ain't
God
that
is
about
good.
nothing.
Yeah, like you know what I'm
Hey,
saying. We ain't even in the play Super Bowl no more. Yeah,
Like
you
God
know
is
what
good.
we God is good. You know,
hey,
God is good.
hey, a good woman can heal all wounds, my guy.
That's what they say. Or
Say,
she can create them.
hey,
Hey,
listen to
that
me.
too.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Shout out to all the beautiful cowboy ladies that's gonna hold us down for the next 7 months. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Because
sir.
you feel me? Because y'all
Yes,
gonna hold
sir.
us down, man. It's gonna get crazy in these cowboy streets.
You
I'm gonna
already
tell you,
know.
it's gonna get crazy out here. But yo, man, you guys already know whenever West Coast goes live, there's two things you guys must do. First thing you guys must do is you must hit that share button. So I need everybody right now, no matter where you're watching at, if that is on AKOYE Sports, that's on HTM Sports,
Yeah.
that is on West Coast.
Share it on Twitter. Matter
One
of
of
fact, let me
the,
share it on Twitter my damn self. I'm breaking my
absolutely,
own
man.
rules.
Absolutely. I need every single person, no matter where you are right now, to hit the share button. Sharing is caring. I know you care about the content. Hook it up by sharing. All right. Next thing I need you guys to do, there's these three things, and it starts with the last two start with S, and it is stars and that is super chats. What are stars and what are super chats? Stars are super chats. They are simply a monetary way for you, the content watcher, to watch the content. What's up, Donna? Hey, I see you. That is a way for you, the content watcher, to show your support by hitting that star button, man. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go through my little nation over here, and I'm gonna say what's up to all the important people that keep the lights on over here. Let y'all know I appreciate you. It's the first of the month. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? So let me get through this real quick. What up, Gilbert? I see you, man. I appreciate you, boy. Yvette, what's up with you, Auntie? He says HTM Sports Info. I think she needs your info. I think she's trying to give you a follow, dog. April, what's up with you? Donna Mama, what's up with you,
April,
Donna? Donna,
she a
you know,
legend.
hey, Donna, you know you got the man. The whole family is in our prayers. You already know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Miss Cortez, what's up with you? Miss Sammy, what's up? Sammy, what's up with you? Joshua Fisher, what's up with you? Crazy ass. What's up, Sammy? I see your boy April and Miss Cortez. I think I already seen you that. Tony's asking for someone's government information. My question is why? We're gonna go ahead and go over to YouTube, see what they're doing over there on YouTube. Let's see what we got on YouTube. Who we watching on YouTube? We got let's see who we got. We got my boy Overflowing over there, and we got my boy Richard Evans. We call him Rich by any means. What's up with your boy? He is also a part of the wrench game. If you guys don't know, on YouTube, they got them big ass wrenches, and what they're for is if your ass get out of line, they're gonna tighten you up. That's all I'm gonna say, man. You're gonna be here, and then you're not. It's gonna be like Kellen Moore, like, damn, he was here. And then he wasn't. But it ain't gonna be mutual. It ain't gonna be mutual. Real quick, AKOYE, I think, are you live on your channel?
I believe so, yeah.
If you're live on your channel, man, shout out some folks over there to keep the lights on for you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate Agent 9, man. He always jump on, man. I don't think my chats are updated because that's all I can. It's not scrolling, but and I can't see how many people on there. But Agent 9 joined up. Anybody else I see that's from my channel, excuse me. I mean, I'll jump on a little later and I'll holler at y'all, but that's all I can see so far is Agent 9. Maybe only one of y'all love me over here, man. I doubt that though, but maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I can't see everybody in the chats though. So
hey, well, you know what we believe. Hey, Henny, we gonna tell them the rules over here. We don't believe in weird cowboyism. Y'all know what that is.
No, I don't. Yeah.
Weird cowboy. Boy, what you mean? That's watching content without sharing or hitting the star button.
Oh yeah.
Like that's
I deal with that all day then, so I don't believe in it either. I feel you on that. Let's adopt that.
We don't believe in that.
Yeah, that's a step down for voyeurism, man.
Yeah, exactly. That's just weird. We just don't do that over here.
Henny, I'm about to adopt that law.
Exactly. Hey, Henny. Hey, let them know, man, because I know you got some folks over there that's helping paying them bills over there, man. Shout them out. Let them know they're important.
Yes, sir. Let me see. Well, there are some people doing that weird cowboy stuff we're talking. We got folks watching, but nobody has commented on the page. So I can't tell you who it is.
Oh, no, I can see him. I see Jamal Porter. It's just slow. It's like the chats are delayed or something. I can see him joining in late. I'll jump back over there later. We can do shout outs, I guess, near the end, and we'll be able to see. You'll be able to see him too, HTM. You know what I mean? Because it looks delayed on my end too. So, and I can see him on this side, but I can't see him on my page.
Okay. Hey, listen to me. You know what that is? That's calling an excuse. But you know what an excuse is? An excuse is a fact that you don't want to accept, man. So let's just
nobody love you.
You feel that's real, man. It's real, man. That's real, man. So man, we got an hour. We got 50 minutes to talk about why Brian Schottenheimer is going to bring back Run the Damn Ball, or why we should have faith in this young man. Kind of older man though. Why we're gonna have faith in this guy, and more importantly, man, you know. Exactly what are we getting, man? I got my guy AKOYE who's dropping content on it. I got my boy HTM to the left of me who has dropped several articles. The reason why I wanted both of you guys on here is because both of you guys were actually kind of head on, you know, with this. My approach with the offensive coordinator was this. I just want a guy who can understand run philosophies, but I bet both of you guys had content that was out before this happened. So, you know, I wanted to give both of y'all.
That means you tuned in, man.
Oh yeah, he
got the same download I got. It just like hit me, you know what I mean?
So let's jump into it, man. Why Brian? Why Brian? Why Brian get the job, man?
Who you want to go first? Go ahead, HTM. You want to go first?
AKOYE, I'll let you.
He the guest.
You the guest, man. He know.
I got you. I like your hospitality, man.
You ain't gonna be the guest next week, though. I'm gonna tell you this: you get your own damn water. I don't do that, bro.
One time, fast, man. Watch it.
Go ahead.
But no, seriously, I looked at him first because he was already on staff, and I wanted to just take a peek. And I said, well, do we even need to shop? Because when they said that Mike McCarthy was going to be calling plays, I didn't understand the logistics of it. So I just looked at our own staff and I saw that we kept him. And then I said, okay, well, let's see what he actually can do. And when I looked at his stint in Seattle, thought he did pretty good. And I wanted to see exactly, like, it's one thing to look at stats because we look at Kellen Moore just to give him some credit if you want to give him any. When you look at stats as far as like how much he actually runs the ball, where we rank in running, he actually ran the ball enough to rank high enough with running, right? But it wasn't about how many times you ran per season. It was about when we ran and situational running, and then the way we approached the running game that actually was the difference maker for me. So I didn't want just another guy who ran the ball 550 times a season or 520 times a season. I don't really care about that. How do you run the ball, and what effect does it have on the game and the way you call plays? And Brian Schottenheimer just jumped off the page to me once I started looking at his film, because he was a guy, number one. Him and Mike, I got to give Mike Solari credit as well, because the way they both approached the run schemes was just a aggressive slaughterhouse type of a style. Like they want to pound you and then pound some more, and then use that attrition to kind of confuse defenses and make them come forward. You load up the box so they can get behind you, and that's what they're doing. And it's also progressive, where Kellen will come out. Sometimes you might see us. We know we're going forward on fourth. We did this a couple times this season. Sometimes it was successful in the air, but we did it a couple times this season where they knew they were going to go for it on fourth down. And on second down, they might have run the ball. It might be, third and short. And instead of running the ball on third and short, they'll throw the ball on third and short and then throw the ball on fourth down. Now we're forced to throw the ball on fourth down without making any ground or gaining any ground. And we'd be doing that out of a spread look, empty backfield, where there's no, even though it's short yardage, there's no threat of run at all, which makes it easy for a defense to kind of figure out what you're doing pre-snap because you have an empty backfield. So those type of looks were kind of confusing for me. And I wanted to see if Schottenheimer was like different from that. And when I say he's progressive, a lot of his play actions come specifically off of like targeting specific players. Like he might target your middle linebacker and do like an RPO just to see what type of drop set he takes or what type of angle he takes to the ball. And then right after that, you'll see like 2-3 plays in a row, or maybe even the rest of the game, they'll be playing off of that horizontally or different ways, or maybe making you make two-way goals. He's playing off of specific players, and you can kind of see it. In the Vikings game that I broke down, it was Hendricks. He was going off of Hendricks all day, and you can see that he was kind of targeting Hendricks because Hendricks is a quick guy that gets to the spot fast. So he was using his speed against him with play action, and I thought that was like something that we didn't see a lot of with Kellen. Kellen was a good play designer, not a great play caller, in my opinion. So that's what I saw from him. That's what I think we're getting. And right now I'm breaking down him versus Dan Quinn in 2020 just to see how he did against our own defensive scheme. You know what I mean? And it's pretty impressive in my opinion due to the way he designs his. And this is just from pass. I'm not even looking at run because people were coming at the video like, well, what about the air? He's not creative or he can't throw the ball. The way and he didn't let Russell Wilson cook and all that other stuff that they were talking, but the way he designs his passing scheme is he uses a lot of flood concepts where he just floods zones or floods areas where he makes you pick your poison. You can read the field deep to short, makes it easy for quarterbacks to read, but it also makes it difficult for defenses to cover because they have to make choices. Somebody's going to be open in most cases, but it depends on who you choose to cover or what type of switches you made pre-snap in your assignment. So you either going to get killed deep or you're going to get pinched to death or needled to death underneath. And either way, I'm happy with it because it's very efficient, his style. So I like what I saw. And they put up, I think, 40 points on Dan Quinn in that game. So that's probably one of the reasons he's over here with us. So thank you for that, Brian. You know what I mean? But that's it. That's what I think so far. I feel like that's what we got coming. And I'm happy that we got him. And then once I saw that Mike Solari pick, I knew the writing was on the wall, man.
Right.
Henny, what's your thoughts?
Well, from a similar perspective, like I did look him as well because he was already on the team. And then I looked at his Mike McCarthy's familiarity with him. Like they were both on the Kansas City coaching staff back in the day, serving as
Right.
position coaches. So he's
Right.
very familiar with Brian, and his work as a play caller. So and just by the fact of Mike McCarthy, it being public knowledge about McCarthy being the play caller going forward, you were not going to attract no big name hot shot, no offensive coordinator still trying to make a name, right? When you don't have the power, because anything that happened with the offense, good or bad, Mike McCarthy is probably gonna get the credit for it this year. So
Yeah.
anybody trying to make their bones in the league was not going to come in here, and willingly take their job and play second fiddle to Mike McCarthy. And we really saw that play out this year already because they already were talking about the dysfunction between Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore as the year progressed.
Yeah.
So and I also I saw that he did run a very run heavy scheme, right? Because 2018, a year where we actually played the Seattle Seahawks twice, right? They were the number one rushing offense in the entire NFL, and they took that, and he was able to achieve that with no real big name running back, right? They had a running back by committee, and they were able to produce that top rushing team he had another top 4 rushing offense the following year. And people look at the 2020 season. Some people say he fell off. There are really more politics playing to that than anything. That when
they wanted Russell throwing,
that's when the let Russ cook stuff actually happened, and it was to the detriment of the team. Was being honest,
because Russ ain't Russ.
Hey,
What they thought he was.
Hey, but you guys know why? You guys know why teams? You know why teams do that though? Why teams want these athletic quarterbacks to throw? And if you guys notice, it's always around contract season. The reason why, I mean, this is just my common sense on why I believe it, but it makes a lot of damn sense, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's because when you're signing a player, you're signing him for what you think he's going to do in the future. You're signing a guy that's athletic. You don't think he's going to be running around in the future. You know what I'm saying? And you also know there's going to be a diminishment of his athletic abilities. So what do is you start it now. You know what I'm saying? Because think about this. Once I start paying you on an extension, I'm no longer paying you on what you can do. Oh my God, this is from above. When I'm paying you on an extension, it's not about you doing what you can do. It's about doing what I want you to do. Because guess what? Dak did whatever he had to do before he got signed. After he got signed, his entire game changed.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it almost, you know what I'm saying? And it's almost like the bag, a part of it, because think about this. When you're cheap, teams are like, bro, do what you got to do. Shoot, jump on your head, jump in the end zone, land on your head and your neck.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares. You're only charge me $300,000. As soon as you're making and listen to me, this is not Dak's fault either, because I know a lot of you guys are going to then hold that against him. Like, that's not his fault.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
No.
That's not even play calling, but it's like, as someone gets more expensive, when someone's taking up, and that's just any position, man. When when you're taking up, it's like a bank. You know what I'm saying? If the bank loans you most of their money, you technically own the bank. You know what I'm saying? Because you're the one that's in charge now.
Yeah.
So it's like, you have that same type of mentality where it's like, some guys like Aaron Rodgers, you know what they said? Bruh, I own their Packers. You see how much we're going to do what I want to do. Why? Because financially, I'm the one that can call the shots. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where you have a guy like Dak, and listen to me, I don't think that an Aaron Rodgers mentality would even work in Dallas. So I think Dak did it correctly. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you did, Dak, it got you $160 million. So I ain't never going to tell you did it wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because what worked in Green Bay will not work in Dallas, because Jerry Jones will fire your ass.
What happened with Jimmy Johnson? Like,
he takes
Jerry
it
Jones
personally.
does not deal with.
Jerry Jones will fire your ass.
Oh, he hold a grudge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you remember, Green Bay is owned by a whole city. Like, it's a couple people that was like, I ain't that mad at Aaron Rodgers. But Amari Cooper, i.e. Amari Cooper, is on the Cleveland Browns because, you know what I'm saying, because of obvious reasons.
Yeah, he said some shit about Dak that he should have said. I believe he said it now. They said he said that, like, Dak was the black Kirk Cousins or something. Everybody was like, that's conspiracy theory, but he was gone pretty fast after that rumor came out. So he must have said it.
Yeah, I mean, and think about this. It's crazy, man, because it's like, when did Kirk Cousins become like I'm not saying it's like
trash.
I mean, obviously it's not Beyonce, but it's not like, I mean, come on, bro. I mean, what is Steve? Come on, man. She ain't Beyonce. And that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he ain't that bad, though. It ain't that far off. You know what I'm saying? But Henny, go ahead. We'll go ahead and make your point, my boy.
Nah, you good, man. But once I figured that, there was pretty much the writing on the wall. It didn't help that the Dallas Cowboys, they were rumors circulating about him being the guy while Kellen Moore was still on the damn team. So, where there's smoke, there's fire. So, it's not hard to put 2 and 2 together. So, once I saw the rumors circulating, I saw that he was somebody familiar with Mike McCarthy. That's when I did go back and look at some of the numbers for him. And like, he's a great offensive coordinator in terms of the run game. And I'm wearing this run the damn ball head, so I can't be mad about somebody that wants to aggressively run the ball and get some defense.
You know what's interesting, and it makes this is a conspiracy theory, because you really don't know. But when you look back on the season, we were like, if we can do what we did with Cooper Rush when Dak comes back, right? Things will, this team will be, lights out. And then when Dak came back, we slowly went back to being a pass aggressive team. And we're like, what happened to all that Cooper? How were we able to control games that way with Cooper Rush? Believe it or not, when I started watching Brian Schottenheimer's film, a lot of the stuff we were doing with Cooper Rush is what he does. You know what I'm saying? Like playing off of play action, a lot of progressive routes that are built off of his play action. So that may be what sealed him. Maybe he had a lot more input into how they approach their game plans when Cooper Rush was in there. And then you can see the contrast, and maybe that was part of the reason they felt comfortable letting Kellen go as well, because I don't that style of play, that wasn't Kellen's style. That smash mouth ball control offense isn't Kellen's style. And I mean, that's what we were running with Cooper Rush, and it was very effective with what we all agree is a lesser quarterback. So maybe that's part of the reason they felt like we might not need Kellen Moore after this is over. So it would be interesting to find out who was influential during that phase of the season, because it didn't look like a Kellen Moore fingerprint was all over that, in my opinion.
I agree with that thought process, because you got to think about it. Like Schottenheimer was working as an offensive analyst for the team, so
right.
It would be right in his wheelhouse to break down
how we should approach the game plan.
Like that input. And then we already got 3 years of offensive play calling from Kellen Moore. Like he literally had Dak Prescott throwing the ball 45 times in 2020. So I know damn well that he was not the guy that wants to run the ball. Then he gave that interview mid-season talk about how much he wants to throw the ball and just killing them inside. So yeah, I'm pretty sure he wasn't just overnight like, yeah, I'm gonna run the ball 30 times this game.
Right.
Hey, it's also sad too, man. It's also sad the fact that that means last year could have never happened, because I'm pretty sure Brian Schottenheimer had some great ideas in 2022 that nobody was probably listening to. Because I'm gonna tell you this right now: when they fire you and replace you with the guy right behind you, that means you probably weren't listening to him. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean. And also, what it also lets you know, dude? It also lets you know that the Dallas Cowboys 100% gave Kellen Moore way too much power. Way too much power.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Kellen Moore, as much as we might want to look at him and be like, shoe on him, shame, 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 Kellen Moore is actually a spawn of ours. Like, that is what happens. Like, and I hope that we allow Kellen Moore to always be put up as an example. With the cartels, they put them examples out there. Not don't mess with that area. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let's leave Kellen Moore's body up there for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Let's not snatch it down. Let's leave it up there as an example, because that was 100% nepotism. We 100% gave him a job, gave him control over something that he was 100% not ready for. And guess what? We allowed guys' careers to be his playground and his figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Now everybody's talking about the windows closing, What the hell you mean the windows closing? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not fair. That's not right.
Yeah, wrong person had the keys.
And that's going to lead into this, man. I got two folks on here. We about to go into some rapid fire question, thoughts, and answers real quick. You know what I'm saying? Because Brian, we gonna learn as much about Brian as we know, but I got questions, and I know we all got concerns. I want to know, with what you guys know from a guy named Brian Schottenheimer, what do you think he's thinking right now about Ezekiel Elliott?
Good question.
Well, you want to go first, Koye? You still the guest, so I think you should.
I don't mind. I'm ready. I'm always ready. Well, I don't think it's I think he. Well, first let me say this, because I'm also working a shameless plug. I'm working on a film for Zeke, because a lot of people in this fan base, and this is why I even exist in the first place in this fan base. Same thing we did to Dez, is like a lot of people forget things. Like Dez was playing injured in his last year here, or last years here, and Zeke has been playing injured the last 2 seasons. So the same concessions I would give a Tony Pollard if he was injured, a Dak Prescott playing injured, anyone that's playing injured, just like you're looking at Mahomes right now playing injured. Obviously, the performance pre-injury is what you're going to look at as what the player is. Although we're dealing with running back, which is an attrition position. If you want to talk about pay, I'm not going to converse about his pay, because obviously I do agree he's probably going to take a pay cut to stay here. That's neither here nor there.
That's anywhere in the NFL, though. That's anywhere
right.
in the NFL.
But let's talk about the player and productivity and what he has left. And the reason I say that I think Zeke still has 3-4 years left of good football is because of the way he played in the last 2 seasons before his injuries.
Facts.
When I was looking at Zeke before the Denver game last season, I took all the film, I watched it, and I analyzed it. He spun off in Carolina, I think he had a 47-yard run. He was having a great game that game. He got injured twice in that game, his knee, and he fell on the pylon, I think, in that game and in the Giants game, he fell on the pylon. But he got injured twice in the Carolina game and then injured in the Giants game and then KC game. You know what I'm saying? So he was getting banged up, but prior to that, and then Denver game as well. But in that prior to that Denver Broncos game, Zeke Elliott, I was fine with the way he was running. Not that I didn't think Tony Pollard should get some carries. I mean, obviously, Tony Pollard's a home run hitter, but the way Zeke was running pre-injury, I was fine with. And the fact that he came in with a knee brace and a torn ligament in his knee and still tried to run was commendable, although I think in hindsight, he probably feels like he probably should have sat down too, because he didn't get any credit for it. You know what I mean? If you're putting it all on the line for the team, and then they look at your stats at the end of the season and say, we're judging you off of stats, instead of understanding that you're a guy that's willing to Ronnie Lott this thing and cut your damn arm off and still play. That is what I'm looking at when I look at Zeke, when I was looking at him last season. You know, some people don't like that. They're looking at productivity. I feel you. When you look at this season, same thing. Prior to Zeke getting injured this season, I was fine with the way Zeke played. And then I looked at his offseason, knowing that he was coming into a year where his contract would be in question. What did you do to prepare? And he was preparing in the offseason. He looked spry-footed in the beginning of the season. I looked at the games like the Eagles game, where in that game in particular, how he played. And they forget that in Detroit, he bent his knee backwards in Detroit. He got hit on the sideline. His knee literally bent backwards. That is a season-ending injury for most running backs, or at least taking weeks off, which he did take 3 weeks off. But that's an injury for running backs that sit you down. He still played the rest of the game. And the very next play, I think he hurdled somebody right after that on that same knee. So when I look at Zeke, I look at a guy that's willing to give it all for this team. And I would say that Schottenheimer, the way he runs guys like he did Carson, like he did Penny, Hyde, and those guys, he will run a running back into the ground. He's going to run you. So having a guy that's willing and that's available, is always going to be available as long as he's alive, you know, and breathing, he's going to be available for the snap. And having a guy like that, I think, is valuable for Schottenheimer and also valuable for Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones as well. I think it's just coming down to, you know, a price point at this point. And the way that they design runs, I feel like Zeke will they'll put some years back on Zeke with the way they design their running scheme and their running back by committee game plan. So that's how I think he's looking at him. I think he'll look at Zeke as somebody that he can use as a hammer, and that's how he should be used.
I want to put some. I love putting people on the spot, because I think when you put them on the spot, you help them change their mind.
Mm-hmm.
Eastside Herald and Eric Griffin. I love your thoughts. I love your thoughts on Ezekiel Elliott, but I want to know some questions real quick. Do you guys believe that Kellen Moore was a good or bad offensive coordinator? I want you to put that in the comment box, right? And then after you think about, is he a good offensive coordinator? I want you guys to know, what is an offensive coordinator's job? It is to enhance the talent and put in place of the players that are in charge of. That's what their job. You're either enhance it. You know what I'm saying? Enhance it means take what they have already, right, and make it better, or put them in positions to use their talent to they can make plays. Right? So my question is this: Jerry Jones had two decisions. At the end of the day, he looked at Ezekiel Elliott. He looked at the whole offense, right? And you know what he said? He said, Kellen Moore, you have come back wanting. Wanting mean what? Your ass is out of here, bro. We felt that you did not do your job. Okay? So since the boss, Jerry Jones, has declared, and we all as a fan base identified that Kellen Moore did not do his job, right? How much of him not doing his job do you place on Zeke and him not being able to do his job? Because and that's just real, because the disparity that I see a lot is this. I see a lot of Dak Prescott sucked. He threw a lot of interceptions and he was a horrible quarterback. Ezekiel Elliott looked washed. CeeDee Lamb, I don't know about him. But think about this. They fired the guy who they thought was the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and that's just, and I'm gonna be honest with you, and even to the folks that are say like, oh, the team that you have right now is really. Go ahead, Kuya. You had some.
No, just one other thing we didn't say about Zeke, man. He got 876 yards and missed 2 games. Had he not missed those games, he probably would have still got maybe over 1,000 yards this season, and we probably wouldn't be talking about this either. So, I don't. You can keep going off of that. I can keep you. It's gonna come off as excuses, but I just look at.
I don't think it's an excuse.
Hey, but listen to me. Say what an excuse is. You know what an excuse is? An excuse is a fact that you refuse to accept. Because I'm gonna tell you this right now, AKOYE, if you tell your daughter to be home by 11 p.m. and she walks in at 11:45 with dirt all on her shirt, you have one or two things you can do. She's gonna say but daddy, my car broke down, my phone was broken, and I couldn't call you, so I had to change that tire just like you showed me, and I did, and it took me 45 minutes. Now guess what AKOYE can do? AKOYE can look at his daughter and say, you know what? That is an excuse. You were still supposed to be here at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, you're right.
Guess what? It is an excuse, though. It is.
But it's a valid one.
But it's still a fact. So guess what? We don't mind you guys calling what we're saying an excuse as long as you don't call it non-factual. As long as you don't call it non-factual, we're fine with it. You know what I'm saying? Because some of this stuff is an excuse. And I'm going to be honest with you. I do believe in a season where you fire your offensive coordinator, some folks should get some excuses. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I was a district manager for T-Mobile. Lord, I didn't mean to say that. I hope they ain't watching because I wasn't supposed to say that. NDA. But listen to me. I was a district manager. I was a district manager for a company I sued and won. And guess what? You know what I realized? Hey, you know what I realized, man? This is what I realized. It is easy. I'm just saying. Cut that out. All right, because we're going to have to edit that out.
Edit the hell out that.
We're going to edit the hell out that later.
You gonna say it loud. Who on the NDA says NDA loud as shit?
Hey, so at least, listen to me. If they sue me, at least they know I tried, man.
You can't even say deniability. You can't even say you ain't know because you said.
Just let them know the money is spent. They cannot get that back. It's over.
They're gonna say why he can't speak.
Hey, Cuzzo, you know the money spent. You know the money spent.
It's over with.
Hey, I'll write you a check. Better not cash it the next Thursday, though.
You ain't hear this from me, but
but But the question is this, because this is something I think fans are not doing. Fans, we all celebrated and danced over Kellen Moore's body as he got carried out of here. But I want to know, as we danced over his body and we were so happy he finally got out of here, how much of an excuse do these players get for what Kellen Moore was not doing, hence the reason he got fired?
Right. And let me add a little bit. Let me add a little bit more context to this, right? Because you talked about the yardage he had. Like Ezekiel Elliott was also tied for the third most rushing touchdowns in the entire NFL in that short time period.
He's washed though
with a bum knee.
And then peep this
in 14 games,
which is 14 games is also the second fewest games that he had to start in. Right, he only got 14 starts. That's the second fewest in his career. Actually, the shortest amount was in 2017 when he was suspended for half the season. So, but then also add in the Terrence Steele injury. I got the numbers right here for the entire.
Everything went down after he went down.
Yeah, the entire running back production went down. The game that he got hurt was Houston. They were at 4.2 yards an attempt, carry by running backs. The next week, Jacksonville, they were at 3.8 yards a carry for running backs. Philadelphia, they had 3.0 yards a carry for running backs. Tennessee, they were at 2.6 yards per carry for running backs, and it was around the same in the Washington game. And this is all the running backs. This is Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. So it's not like Tony Pollard was out here having monster games still too. He was struggling as well.
I mean, Tony Pollard
was an impact.
In his last 5 games, Tony Pollard has 214 yards. He has 0 touchdowns. Tony Pollard's last touchdown. And listen to me, I don't bring that up so that I can piss on Tony Pollard. I bring that up because that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? Like people like the fact like, oh, it was Zeke was just struggling. No, bro, everybody was struggling. Think about this.
Went down,
Think about this. your offensive coordinator had 7 runs for Zeke in that first game in the playoffs. 7. He had 4 the next week. And guess what? 3 of those runs were were not even called run. That was just Dak trying to get out of the way. So it's like, bro, like your offensive coordinator at that time, that was not running the ball was not even something that was. I'm not saying it was not on his mind, but it was definitely not first on his mind. You know what I'm saying?
It's still in the game plan.
And then I'm gonna ask y'all this too, because I'm really, really big on expectations. Like you gotta have proper expectations. We all knew Zeke was coming into this year to share, bruh. You get into a relationship with 2 women, come on now. They both can't know you're gonna be with you 24 hours now.
Yeah. Somebody gonna be mad now.
Yeah, like y'all agree now. You guys said you was not gonna get mad. Now, you guys all said at the beginning of the season, Ezekiel Elliott, when I was over here saying that Zeke can be the 3-down back and Tony Pollard need to be a slot. Remember, I said that. You guys told me no. Ezekiel Elliott need to share carries with Tony Pollard because that's what he do. I need to see Zeke at about 15. I need to see Tony Pollard about 15. And guess what? Jerry gave y'all what y'all wanted, bruh. Remember, you guys didn't want Zeke carrying the ball 25, 30 times. That and don't make me pull it because I'm petty.
Yep.
Y'all didn't want that last year. I specifically wanted Tony Pollard in the slot. Y'all wanted him as a running back. So then my question is this. What were you expecting from Zeke? Carrying the ball 15 times a game.
Oh, this is also
half of his production.
This is also the fewest attempts.
You should have gotten half of his
attempts of Ezekiel Elliott's career. He only ran the ball 231 times.
Yeah.
That's the fewest he has ever ran the ball in his entire career.
Yeah.
Like, what were you expecting? Like, did you guys really think he was? We thought Zeke was gonna have 1,500 yards, and then Tony Pollard was gonna have 1,200 yards. What?
We don't commit to running the ball that much to do that.
Yeah.
Like that
you're right. You got a point with that. Like that's they're not paying attention to what Zeke was able to do, and how he was running with a bum leg. Like I said, the way he ran in the end of the season, as far as like the touchdowns, he went on a stretch where I think he had
9 games with the touchdown, 9 straight games.
Yeah, like it was crazy. So for him to be able to do that, and then I looked at the Giants game, and he's running with a brace on that's like, a offensive lineman's brace. So that tells you how injured he really is and really was. I think that the Cowboys are very shrewd, like the way they look at injuries. The reason they didn't sign Odell in the first place, like if they look at Zeke's knee and they have their doctors look at it and see that, he really can't recover, or it's just something that's going to be a problem moving forward. I think then obviously they'll make the decision the way they usually do, which is they cut ties early. But I don't think that's the case because of the way they're talking. So I think if Zeke has a healthy offseason and he comes in here ready, we're going to get Zeke again. And I don't think that the Cowboys are looking to get away from him per se. I think they're doing exactly what they said in the media. They're trying to put pressure on that contract, and they want him to take a pay cut. And if he takes that pay cut, I think we'll get more Zeke, and I wouldn't be mad at that at all.
Right. Especially with who you got.
I don't even really think it's going to be I don't even think it's going to really be too much of a pay cut. It'll be a pay cut as far as what the salary it is, but the Cowboys will still find some ingenious way, and that's the only thing that we really care about is a salary cap number. They can give Zeke $100 million on the side of the building. We don't really care too much about it, but then we'll be mad if they give him that $16 million. You know what I'm saying?
You're not going to get mad.
And think about this too. I'm gonna tell you guys something else too. Like, and this is something that as fans, you're not gonna care because you don't have to make this payment. But think about this, right? You got an X, and listen to me. Jerry actually likes Zeke because Zeke is actually being positive. But I'm just saying for the fans who don't like Zeke, right? You got an X, right? Y'all done. Y'all don't want to be together, right? You got to pay. You can save $10 million, right? You can let her go, right? You can let her go, right? But you still got to then pay her $6 million because think about this, and you're still single. So imagine
love a divorce.
Exactly. So imagine this. What's really going to happen if you get rid of Zeke? You're going to save $10 million, but you're going to write him a check for $6.5 million to not be on your team. So think about that. Malik Davis don't make that. You'll be paying more for a running back that's not on your team than the running backs that are on your team.
Yeah.
That's like, it's like realistically, the best thing for the Cowboys to do, if Cowboy fans get out of their opinion, out of their faults, out of their like feelies, the number one thing which you want Zeke to do is to be Zeke under this new offensive coordinator. Yeah. Because not even just the contract. Like, think about this. Even if the Cowboys don't touch the contract, the Cowboys just want to save money. But my question is this: why are we saving money? Are we saving money because we're about to go do what? The Cowboys are making it very clear that Trevon Diggs is a guy that they're not really trying to sign right now, or they wouldn't be doing him the way they're doing him. You know what I'm saying? So it's you get what I mean? So it's like, why Cowboy Nation? Why do you guys always put this pressure on your stars or guys who agreed to have contracts that they are, and your team does not even spend the money? So my question to you is, what are we gonna like? I get it, AKOYE. We saved $10 million. What do you think Jerry's gonna do with that $10 million? Like, are we gonna use it to better this team? My question is this. So the real question is this, and I want to tell y'all the fans, the real question you're really telling yourself is this: hey, bro, it's 8:00. It's too late to go outside. Close that garage. Thank you very much. The real question you're asking yourself is this: do you want to give $10 million for Zeke to be on this team? Or do you want to save $10 million so that Jerry can literally just put it in a bag and just go swim in it? Because he's not going to do anything with the money, bro. The history has shown that, honestly, sometimes it's really just keep the player, bro. Think about this, AKOYE. Mm-hmm. Everybody wanted to save this money with Amari Cooper. What did you do with the money?
Nothing.
So, bro, like some of y'all, we should have just kept him.
Yeah.
Especially for what Michael Gallup did.
Yeah, Michael Gallup's not ready yet, man. And hopefully he gets back this season. But yeah, we could have kept Cooper and things probably would have went smoother this season. We know that. Everybody know that. But the way it looks, like you're right. You wanted something like if they did cut Zeke, would they do anything special with that money? I mean, other than probably pay Tony, you're gonna have to still sign Dono. And you just said it. They don't want to sign Trayvon this season. They're gonna make him wait another season before he gets his any money, if at all. Which I think you got to do at some point. But yeah, I can't think of what they would do with it. So if you're looking at it from a business standpoint, I don't think, although on the paper you save money just to keep on the cap, but I don't see anything that they're really going to do as far as splashes, unless Odell comes into question at some point. Maybe that's an idea, but I don't want to go into a season with a new offensive coordinator with question marks at running back, because Tony Pollard is injured.
At both running backs.
Yeah, Tony Pollard is injured. And like I said, Zeke is a guy that will cut his leg off to remain available and run on nubs. So you got a guy like that coming in with Tony that's injured. I feel more comfortable with that, even if you were to go out and draft a guy like Robinson. Like everybody keeps talking about Bijan Robinson. If you were to go out and draft a guy like that, you're not going to find out, what he is until the season starts. And then, young running backs, they sink or swim. So if he's not ready,
fast too, bro, fast.
Yeah. So if he's not ready, then what do? And you got a offensive coordinator that's coming in, and now he's under pressure because we're coming in with a lot of question marks. So I think you go the stable route, and then you cut ties, or you put yourself in position to cut ties with maybe an extension or some other form of pay cut, however you want to go and do it with Zeke, but. Maybe give him a heavy incentive contract where you get the best out of him for the next 3 years and make him earn every dime that he gets, if you want to do it that way too. I'm not opposed to what you do financially to keep him, but it doesn't make a lot of sense if you're not going out and making a big splash in the running back market to get rid of him at this point, in my opinion. I don't see what you're about to do that's better right now. Yeah. You're not trading for anybody, and a draftee is an unknown commodity. And Tony hurt. So what you doing with that?
And then my thing is this too, fellas. Like, we just lost in the second round of the playoffs. We should be trying to do things that only make our team better, period. I don't give a damn about Jerry Jones' pockets. Like, are we serious right now? Are we really trying to sit up here and try to debate? Oh, yeah, we're going to, Jerry, we're going to save $10 million here and throw it over here on the left.
For what?
For what, bro? For what? Jerry's a billionaire, bro. No, when you lose in the second round of the playoffs, I only want to hear about doing stuff that makes us better, even if it means paying somebody.
Right.
And listen, like, you already saved like over $20 million just by giving Dak Prescott a contract extension. So like, you don't have to cut anybody you don't want to cut. Like I said, you'll probably rework a deal with Ezekiel Elliott, get a little cap relief, and keep the player. They already are talking about tagging Tony Pollard, which is only going to cost you $10 million. You just paid Dalton Schultz $10.5 to play this season. So $10 million is not really a big deal to the Dallas Cowboys.
It's really nothing.
Right.
And even if you were to extend CeeDee Lamb and extend, Diggs, it's an extension. It's not really going to affect this year's salary cap. So, like there is really nothing you have to clear a ton of salary cap to do this offseason.
Right.
So, especially with the way that we bargain shop during the damn free agency market anyway. Like we'll sign another 30-year-old wide receiver that's been on about 4 or 5 teams, and we'll get excited about it.
Yeah.
In the off season, we'll do our videos and content creators and shit.
Yeah.
But outside of that, we're not really gonna go out here and go to Louis Vuitton and shop for no skill position player. We might go to Ross.
Yeah. Hey, Henny, my thing is this: who replaced the disrespect of Cowboy fans? The disrespect of Cowboy fans. I want to know before you get rid of Zeke, who for sure is giving me 12 touchdowns rushing? Because nobody, you are literally saying get rid of your leading touchdown receiver, rusher, anybody. Nobody had more touchdowns than Zeke on this team this year, and that's who you want to get to. So I want to know before you do that, because 12 touchdowns, that is noticeable.
Right.
I mean, the only running back that would even be under contract, if I'm not mistaken, would be Malik Davis if you were to cut Ezekiel Elliott. Because Tony Pollard, I know he's probably gonna get tagged, but he is technically a free agent. So you will go into the season with Malik Davis as your only running back on the roster when you have a run dominant offensive head coach and a new scheme for everybody. It's gonna be Dak Prescott's first season in a new offense. Right, because even with Scott Linehan, this was a version of the offense they were running there with some variations. So this is gonna be brand new for Dak Prescott, probably new verbiage, and then this is gonna be a lot of moving pieces. So you need a run game to support that quarterback.
Something else too.
Go ahead.
Something else too. Like shout out to Davey on Davey 84 on my page, man. He talking about Zeke's run and pass game being one of the worst. When you mention the pass game. Like again, we always causality is a real thing, right? Nobody wanted to believe it when Dak was coming in and he was learning, and the pass game just went to shit. And they're like, "Well, we wonder what it's the receivers. It's a young quarterback that's developing, is what it is." You know what I'm saying? And you need to just say that and then take the heat off of everybody while he develops, instead of acting like it's someone else's problem.
Right.
And it's funny that Zeke started to decline the moment Kellen Moore got in here. He started declining, and so did his passing off. Zeke was never talked about as a guy. He wasn't like a route runner. He wasn't C-Mac or Tony, but he was never talked about as a guy who couldn't catch or who you couldn't throw the ball to. He actually used to break a lot of screen passes open. We don't screen at all anymore.
At all, brother.
So that's another thing that I was looking at in the film with Schottenheimer. That West Coast style passing scheme, where there's a lot of short passes, a lot of misdirection, hitch type of stuff, smoke screens, all types of stuff that play off of the defensive line's aggressiveness. We're going to see a lot of that come back. And that'll help not only Zeke, but Tony as well when it comes to getting the ball into your playmakers' hands fast and letting them do what they do. And that helps Dak too, because we all keep talking about, I see Eastside Harold saying we lost to Purdy. Purdy was throwing the ball to his playmakers short and letting them run.
AKOYE, you know what? Listen to me. I'm not trying to be rude, but I only got like 10, 12 minutes with you right now. There's something way more important than what he talking about. Nobody care about that. I got a question though. What is Schottenheimer's thoughts on a fullback, bro? Because I'm gonna tell you this right now too. Something else that also changed with Zeke also too is Zeke ran with a fullback when he was in college. The Dallas Cowboys, some of Zeke's best seasons that he had was with Keith Smith in front of him. The Dallas Cowboys, for the finances, and I'm going to tell you this right here. It was also financial, but I'm going to tell you another reason, the real reason why I believe why the Cowboys went away from the fullback is because Kellen Moore valued an extra receiver who can catch the ball versus a guy who can only simply there to block. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he went. That's why his system went totally away. And guess what? They kept up. They would always have a guy like a tight end that would go out there and do it. But he always wanted to have that extra catcher versus the extra fullback. So I want to know real quick, man, because we got like 10 minutes. Do you guys think we will have an implementation of the fullback? Because, bro, if that's the case, man, we definitely gonna see a new Zeke. If somebody else is gonna hit the linebacker and he doesn't have to. Like, I'm just saying, like, you will see a
When you
difference.
look at Solari and Schottenheimer, they didn't use a fullback in Seattle, but they did bring in always an extra lineman. So it was always an off balance line, like it was an imbalanced line. Every time they came out, they would use number 74 Fant as an extra lineman. So what they were doing, they were spreading out those run gaps for that defensive line and those linebackers, where you can get to numbers no matter which direction you're running. Meaning, when I say good to numbers, I mean you got good numbers, a good ratio, blocker to defender on either side of the ball. And then with misdirections and certain pulls and getting guys out in space, they were able to gain extra numbers on either side post snap. So you'll see that if they want to bring a fullback or drop one of those guys or one of our tight ends into the backfield, I think that's what we'll see. But if not that, the way we had Peters here, we had McGovern here, we had extra guys that even last year we had Steele and McGovern who were rotating in as well when we still had Collins. He will use those extra linemen if you have linemen that are sitting there that are good, even if they're not, because Fant wasn't good. But he will use those extra linemen to gain the edge
in front of him. Shoot.
Yeah, he'll gain the edge in the ground game with that extra lineman and take a tight end off the field. He will do that, and they were doing that consistently. So fullback or no fullback, they will have an extra hat in there that can help Zeke, bust some stuff open though. So I don't know if they do a fullback or not. Maybe a tight end that's in there doing it, or they may bring an extra lineman in to do the job.
Hey, real quick, shout out to my boy. That was my boy. Actually, that was a Chris Hegan. My boy Night Owl actually came up. He's the one that brought that thought in there. He put Keith Smith in there, and it just led to something else. Also, shout out to my boy over here, Matt Brayton, that's killing it on super chats. Appreciate you, my boy over there. I appreciate you. Hey, last question, man. We got I still got 10 minutes. We can roll. I drive real fast. Hey, listen to me, my boy. Eastside Herald just said we're delusional. Hey, listen to me. If you're a delusional Cowboy fan, you're right where you're supposed to be.
Where is Eastside Herald right now?
Somewhere, man. But if I'm not mistaken,
he's a Houston Texans fan that's in a Cowboy chat in every Cowboy live video. So how are we the ones that are delusional? We don't watch y'all videos, bro. You know what I'm saying? Y'all
I'm gonna keep it real with you. Listen to me. The definition of fan is fandom, is fanatic. So think about this. If you're not delusional about your team, you know what you do? You switch your team every year. Why? Because your team didn't win last year. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not delusional about your team, you're not a real Cowboy fan. But I will say this, Eastside Herald, you're weird. I love you, but you're weird. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, salute to y'all on hiring that coach, though. That's what's up.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I do like that hire.
I will give you that. Y'all held it down for the bros. You know what I'm saying? Fired one, hired another one, man. I love it. But hey, man, my last question I'm gonna throw to this running. This is the official run the damn panel, man. We got to get AKOYE a hat, man. Get him a hat for real, man.
I'll be honored.
I want the last question.
Just make sure it match my hoodie.
Oh yeah, I can get a black and red one. I got to stop the run that actually match it right now. What about your quarterback, man? Because, Russell Wilson ran a lot. Russell Wilson, I'm going to tell you this. In order to be the number one rushing team in football, it took more than just a running back, because the Seahawks ain't had 1,000-yard rusher in a long time.
Yeah. That argument, I was looking at the stats. That argument actually helps Kellen too, to be honest with you, because when you look at the Eagles, who outran us this season, 760 yards is Hurts. So when you remove the running quarterback equation, we actually were pretty damn good running the ball this season too. That actually helped Kellen out. I was looking at that. I was like, damn, that's interesting. But when you were saying like running quarterbacks, Dak will be running again, man. Yeah, they'll run Dak, but a lot of Russell's Wilson's runs, they weren't all design runs. If you now that I'm looking at the film, he would miss reads and just take off sometimes like he would when he was young. So he got some of that going on, which Dak doesn't do that half as much as he used to. So although I think we'll run, I expect Dak to be somewhere near where he was this season, which is like 200-300 yards rushing, not anywhere near what people would expect from a natural running quarterback, because Dak ain't as spry in the feet as he used to be, man. He's not as fast as he used to be either. So with that said, and like you said earlier, I don't think they want him running his style of runs, because Dak will run right into your face. So with that said, I don't think we'll get as many are much more design runs than we already got. You just might get better designs, which I'll get into in the film. But yeah, I expect him to run about the same amount of times, or give or take. 300 yards is what I expect from Dak. I don't, because even when you look at, like I said, Russell Wilson's runs, a lot of his big runs were coming from the fact that he just everything broke down and he just took off. You know what I mean?
Right. As long as they're calling up run plays for Dak Prescott in the red zone, I'm fine with that. Because
Yeah.
in between the numbers, like you said, I really don't want Dak Prescott taking too many unnecessary hits. Like
Right.
maybe run for occasional first down if the play breaks down.
Right.
That read option and the RPO in the red zone, that was a big reason why he was able to be successful in his first couple of years, why he was developing as a passer. Because people forget, like Dak Prescott didn't run for a bunch of yards, didn't either. But each of his first 3 seasons, he rushed for 6 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
So that did help level out. But also something I noticed from looking at Russell Wilson's numbers for these 3 years when he was with him, he threw for a bunch of touchdowns, even though they were running the ball a lot. I think part of that was due to the fact they were running at such a high clip. They were forcing a bunch of single safety high looks.
Yep.
So I think there was a bunch of 1-on-1s across the board. And Dak Prescott, you give him some easy reads, he will dismantle you,
carry you up, bro.
And that's all he's gonna get is easy reads. That's all you get with this running with the way they run the ball. You gotta look like, especially when they bring that extra man in there, that extra lineman in there. That's what I saw out of everybody. You eventually revert to bringing an extra man in the box to try to deal with it, or running a different defensive scheme altogether, like some sort of bear look where you got an extra lineman in there to try to deal with that. So it's pick your poison. If you don't do that and you try to do what like the Rams did against them, or what the Falcons tried to do against them, which is just spread out and play, the run gaps become Rob Marinelli-esque, where you got big giant lanes for guys to run through. You even saw a screen pass in that.
You don't take a shot at that. You just took a shot at Rob Marinelli. It took me a minute.
It's not a shot. It's just like we was starting out the way, man. I'd
took me a minute to catch up to it too. Cool,
we had a gap that was so crazy because we stunted out of the middle of the field. Both defensive tackles stunted outward.
And mind you, the defensive tackles were 5 pounds bigger than you.
They were like 5'10", 220.
Yeah, they were some undersized as defensive tackles.
Bruh, they had us 3 out there playing defensive tackles.
Right.
But hey,
that's true.
But speaking of Russell Wilson, let's look at this: 35 touchdowns in 2018, despite having the number
40 in 2020.
Yeah, 31 in 2019, 40 in 2020. They were talking about let Russ cook, but when Schottenheimer left, he has barely reached 40 touchdowns in the last 2 years combined. He threw for 25 in 2021 and just 16 this year. So say what you want to, but he did help Russell Wilson a lot.
Yep.
Yeah,
and on point with that.
That's
he ain't looked the same since Schottenheimer left him alone. They ain't been looking right.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen to me, man. It really looks like, man, the community, the people's watching really love what we did here tonight, man. So we gonna man. So we gonna listen to me, Kuye, if you down, HTM if you down, man. We gonna continue this. What is it? What is today? Tuesday. We gonna continue this next Tuesday, man. You know what I'm saying? And then we gonna
not next Tuesday.
Not next Tuesday. Whenever
be in Columbia next. Well, I might be able to stream from the hotel though. So we probably just check with me on the weekend, and then I'll let you know how our setup is there. And I'm taking my laptop, so yeah, we might be able to do it from Columbia.
Oh, bitch.
Well, goddamn, I'm just going to Arizona. Goddamn.
I'll be back Friday. I'll be back next Friday.
All right, man. Don't come back here don't drink no weird water down there. Come back here looking like a Kellen Moore offense.
I know, man. I'm about to take a couple bottles with me, man. I don't want that DR water because you know how it is.
For real.
DR, you ain't coming back.
Ah, that's funny. Hey, well, Kuye, man, let them know where they can find you at, my boy.
Man, AKOYE Media on YouTube, especially. You can also follow me on Twitter. I'm starting to put clips up there I'm learning how the Twitter world works. You know what I mean? I'm old. I'm 40 this year. You know what I'm saying? But I'm following me on Twitter as well at the same name, and on IG, man, for boxing content, especially on IG, and YSM. Shout out to YSM Sports Media as well. You can see me there.
Yeah, man. Kuya, you definitely your own soul, man. I remember we played the Giants week 1, and I don't even think we won. I think we lost. And it was like week 5. And I'm like, Okoye is like, yeah, man, I'm about to do this video, man. I'm gonna send it over to you, man. Man. I'm like, all right, I'm thinking it's gonna be on week 5. Like, who is it? He's like, it's the Giants week 1. I'm like, like, man, it takes me time to do my content. I don't just rush. I put my time. I don't like this dude is sick. He don't give a damn, man. He putting this content out when he put it out, man.
That's the one thing I hate the most about making content is during the season is the fact that everybody want this week's worth of content, but
and Kuye don't care.
When I do that content, it's like, to me, that's creating worthless content because once it's done, nobody want to watch it no more after that week. Now, next week, stay on to something else. I like making pieces that people keep going back to and watching. So I'm like, I like making content that's based off of like an idea rather than what's going on in this week. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. If I had to do it every week, it feels too much like a job, man. Like, I gotta hurry up by Wednesday. I gotta get this video out or else. So now the quality is going down because I'm on the clock. You know what I mean?
And you get to pick and choose your content. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things. I get to pick and choose my content. You know what I'm saying? Henny, let them know where they can find you, my boy.
Hey, man, it's Henny the Moore on Facebook, and then it's HTM Sports on all other platforms, man.
Shoot, I heard that, man. Hey, you already know where y'all can find me. Anywhere there's a cell phone signal, anywhere you can stream. If you can just get a bar, all you got to do is type in West Coast Cowboy, and I'm gonna pop up like this. Hit that link. You feel me? That's your boy. You feel me? That's your boy. Hey, man, I want to thank everybody that watched tonight, man. I appreciate you guys. Listen to me, man. It's going to listen as we get further into the black, and y'all know what the black is. The black is that month between May and June where there's nothing going. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell y'all this right now. Enjoy this content. Enjoy the things that you guys are getting. And also, you guys keep your commitments that you guys made to yourselves. When we was about to play Tom Brady and you said, swear for Jesus, I promise Jesus, if you beat Tom Brady, I'm going to watch Cowboy content. I'm going to be in tune. I'm going to watch the draft, Lord. I'm going to watch the free agency, Lord. I'm going to know the second pick draft name, Lord. I promise you I'm going to know the second pick draft name this year, Lord. Listen, all them promises, I got a couple promises I got to keep myself too. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm not cussing so much. But yes, the Lord did his part. Now we got to do our part. Stay connected. That is the key for the offseason. Stay connected. Because once you get disconnected, you're behind. You know what I'm saying? And then we're going to fight all season when I'm trying to tell you crazy stuff that you should have already known. You know what I'm saying? Stay connected. You guys already know what it is. Never look down because stars up. Peace.
Peace.